What is going on, guys? Greggles TV. This is TCL's brand new phone. Now, if you thought TCL only made televisions, they also make phones as well. This is the TCL 10L. It is a budget phone. It goes for $250. Crazy, right? It's an extremely low price. And you would think at $250, it's not gonna be that crazy amazing. But so far I've been playing with it and actually been enjoying it so far. And I will go through the full specs. I'll put them on the screen, but on the side of the box it shows you it has a 6.53 full HD plus display, HDR screen, 48 megapixel camera, at least one of them is, 16 megapixel front facing camera, Bluetooth, 4000 milliamp battery. TCL 10L. You can see this is the way it looks. I've actually already taken the phone out and I've set it up a little bit, but here's a quick look at it. It comes in this blue color, at least this one of the colors anyway. The blue color, fingerprint sensor on the back. You also get a few cameras on the back there. You get 3 cameras. Or is it 4 actually? 1, 2, it's actually 4 cameras. You also get 2 flashes, fingerprint sensor, TCL branding. At the bottom, it is USB-C. It is only, it shows that it has 2 speakers, but it's actually a mono speaker. There's only 1 speaker on this, and I'll show you that in a little bit. On the right-hand side, you have your power button. You also have volume up and down. On the left side, you have like a smart button that you can customize to do whatever you want, and we'll go through that on here. At the top, headphone jack. You've been wanting a phone with a headphone jack? This one actually has one, but it also has Bluetooth, so you can do either one, and USB-C, so you can do all of that with here. So very interesting phone. It has basically everything you could want spec wise in terms of like features. So that's what it looks like on the screen. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at what comes inside of the box. There is a punch hole in the top left there. Right when you open the box, you get a SIM card ejector. You get a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. And then right here, you just get your normal regular charging brick. Inside this little box where the SIM card ejector tool is, it does come with a floppy little case. I love when they do this, especially with these phones that aren't, you know, like super popular as iPhones. You get a case, so you don't have to go looking to buy one. So give you some protection at the very least. Quick start guide, and then also safety and precautions. So I set up the phone, but I didn't actually download and install any of my apps. So I wanted to go through just so you can see if there's any bloatware on here. So we'll load up the app launcher here, and you can see those are recent apps, but just it breaks it down by communication apps. You can see it's just Google apps. Then you get down to media, it's just, you know, there's really no bloatware. Some of the bloatware, I guess you could say, is Netflix. You can't uninstall that. That comes pre-installed. That video app's just a regular video app. NXT Vision has to do with TCL app on there. Calculator, Compass. Just a lot of Google apps. Radio app. Files app. Smart Key app, which is that button right here. They call it Smart Key. Smart Manager is going to be where you're allowed to kind of close things, make your phone a little bit more snappier. So there you go. Not really any bloatware for the most part. These are TCL apps, like a support app and a TCL Plus app. I'm not sure what this app is specifically. I guess it just kind of tries to pull you into the TCL ecosystem. But yeah, awesome. There's literally no bloatware on here. It's an unlocked phone as well. Let's pull my trusty wireless charger over and see if this can wirelessly charge. Actually, not sure. So it doesn't seem like it does wireless charging, which to me, not a huge deal. This phone also, I should have said, featherly, is that a word? Light. This is super light. Feels amazingly light compared to some of the newer phones, the flagship phones that are out right now. I love that. Let's check out the camera. Let's load that up. So the camera gives you tons of features. So you get auto mode, you get video mode, and this is just in the front. You get portrait to blur out the background. Super macro, which allows you, and it's going to switch to the back, but basically that's going to allow you to get really, really close to text or other things and get a really nice photo. You also have pro mode, which will allow you to take complete control of your photos. Slow-mo, stop motion, light trace, panorama, and high pixel. Tons of features. Then you can go into settings here. And this is going to be it actually should be both. Actually, this is going to be the backside camera settings. So you can see the photo size. You can change this to 48 megapixel, but by default, it is at 12. Video quality on the back camera goes up to 4K 30. It doesn't have optical image stabilization, but it does have electronic image stabilization when you do your videos. Touch to capture, it can show a grid on the screen. You can change the storage if you had a SD card in there. You can put a watermark, which is like TCL. I'll show you how it did it some of my photos. And by default, the watermark is on. Let me switch to the front camera just so you guys can see that real quick, the settings for that. So on the front camera, these are the settings here. You can change the photo size all the way up. It's by default to 16 megapixel. Turn on and off face beauty. That's should smooth out your face, which I don't like. Video quality up to 1080p, 30 frames per second. And there you go. That is, you can change the mirror camera image, so if like you can switch it around or whatever when it takes your photo. And then since we're in the camera, let's check out some photos and videos that I took. Hey, it's Greggles TV. How are you doing? This is what it looks and sounds like on the front camera of this new TCL 10L phone. What do you guys think? You liking the way this looks and sounds? Let me know in the comments. Here's a little back camera action, ultra wide angle to see how it looks, sounds, all of that. Now let's switch to one of the other cameras on there. This is the main camera of the TCL 10L phone. And again, you get a little idea of what it looks and what it sounds like. Now let's show you a little video of my son walking around playing to show off the stabilization. Let's do this. What are you doing, bro?
Hi. I do the there. I do the that.
Oh.
Mama.
You gotta pick it up.
Oh, heavy.
So remember, this is literally a $250 phone. And you can do things on this that you can't even do on an Apple phone. And one of those things is multitasking. So for instance, if I come in here and I find an app, and you can see, so see this little thing right here, that's gonna allow you to multitask. I know that. So if I tap that, it automatically goes into multitasking, and then I can choose another app. And play one of my videos, so I can play one of my videos and look at the App Store at the same time. And you can see the performance, it's pretty good. 6 gigabytes of RAM inside this phone. You can switch it this way. That way you can maybe you want to make the video smaller or larger. But it's crazy, this runs pretty freaking well. The thing I like about their multitasking, it seems a little bit different than some of the other companies that do it, is so you have that, you tap that little blue and you do a couple things. I can press this to switch them. I can tap it again to bring up a different app that I want to open up. Or I can press this button and it will just go straight into the app itself and make it larger. So it just makes it a little bit easier to multitask on an Android phone, because I think a lot of people probably won't even understand it. And that actually, this is probably the most simple way I've seen it so far to switch things around for people. Next, let's check out the quick toggles at the top here. By default, I've turned on dark mode, but you can see I have on, just the basics on here. There's nothing that too crazy. This is gonna turn your screen yellow, so you can see it better at night. Screenshot button if you want to take a quick screenshot. Dark mode. They do have a screen recorder, so if you want to screen record your phone, that is built into this. So some nice little add-ons. Go into settings. This is going to be a plethora of things in here. It's pretty amazing. The software implementation on here is fantastic. Let's check out display first. When we go into display, you have hole punch display. If you want to hide that, you can do that and turn that on for certain apps, because you know some people don't like seeing that in certain apps. You can go to full screen apps. You can make certain apps be full screen. Brightness level, obviously. Dark mode, you can set it or just automatically turn it on like I have it. Eye comfort mode, which is going to make the screen yellow. Adaptive brightness obviously will change the brightness of the display. Sleep, ambient display. So one of the cool things, kind of like a Apple phone, when you get notifications, it'll actually wake the display up. So if you're used to that, if you're coming from an iPhone and you're going to something like this phone, you're able to do that and get that feature back. Then go into NXT Vision, and you can see right here, automatically adjust contrast, sharpness, and saturation to make the screen image clearer with richer depth of detail and improved brightness for dark scenes when viewing photos or playing videos, games. Only works in vivid screen color mode. So it's just NXT Vision just obviously just makes with software potentially makes your phone screen look a little bit better. SDR to HDR. Screen color, you can come in here and change that if you want. I like it vivid. Sunlight display, increased readability under sunlight, so we'll turn that on. Then we'll come into home screen and wallpaper, and in here you can click on, oops, go back in there. Home screen and wallpaper, go into home app. You can come in here and you can change the launcher. So the launcher I have now, I have home screens and I have my app launcher, but maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want to make it a simple launcher. If I do that, so you see with simple launcher, it just makes your icons super huge. If you're a little bit older and you want it to look like that and a little bit seemingly more simple, it allows you to do that. Wallpapers, you know, self-explanatory. They have some live wallpapers in here if you want to change that up a bit. Themes, there's some, I only saw 2 themes in here, but you have, it changed the icons to round or freestyle, whatever you want. You can take a look at these. I've set it to freestyle. Lock screen preferences, you can come in here and you can have it the way TCL sets it, which they show you right here, or you can do it more of a classic way, which would be more of like the Google way. Lock screen notifications, you can show or deny. Lock screen messages, you can set a message here like, hey, I lost my phone. If you find this phone, you know, whatever, that's what that means. Next we have sound. I didn't really go into sounds, probably nothing in here too crazy. Change your ringtones, all that stuff. Advanced features. System navigations, you can come in here and you can turn on the gesture navigation, meaning it's kind of like the way Apple does it. Swipe up from the bottom, swipe up and hold to see your recent apps, and swipe over from the right to the left to go back. Or if you want, you use the buttons down below, you can switch those. You can put the back button on the left or the right, whatever you want. App cloner. Clone will duplicate one app on your home screen and you can enjoy both of them respectively at the same time. So you can use 2, you know, Facebook apps at the same time. Next is screen recording. You can come in here and you can set some different, you know, if you want to change the resolution, you can do that, or turn on sound or record, touch interactions, gestures. You have a few here. You can flip to mute, flip the device to mute the sounds, or if you want to do a 3-finger screenshot, you can swipe with that. Split screen gesture, swipe up with 3 fingers on the screen to activate split screen mode. Quick launch the camera if you double press the power button. Tap to wake, which I love. I should have had that on. So kind of some, you know, tons of customizations in here. $250. They really seemingly put their time in here. You can do one-handed mode if you want to change the certain, so the display size seems a little bit smaller. Game mode, if you're a gamer, you can come in here and block notifications or change to set it to constant brightness, or double check for gestures, all kinds of cool things in there. Driving mode, if you're driving, you can turn, you know, settings on here so that will make your phone maybe a little bit easier to use. Smart key, that's that button right here, so you can customize it. So for instance, if you press it once, I can come in here and I can choose multiple things that I want it to do. Maybe if I press it once, it'll launch my camera. If I double press it, I can have it do something, you know, whatever I want. If I long press it, I can have it do something. So you can see I have it. So if I long press this button over here, it's gonna open up my Google Assistant. If I press it once, it's gonna turn my flashlight on. Love that. I can also press it once again and it'll turn it off. I can double press it and it'll launch my camera. But again, you can customize that to whatever you want. And actually you can see it will, when I double press it, it launches it right into video mode. Taking a step back, we're gonna jump into Smart Manager. And this is gonna be that little thing I showed you where you can, you know, turn off certain auto starting apps. I love that they have that in there really easily to find. You can come in here and check on your battery. You can put on normal saving mode or super saving mode, or check what the battery detail is doing. You can clear out your memory if you want, if things seem to be slowing down on your phone. Notifications, you can kind of come on here and turn those off, really simple. But this is kind of cool. And when you go into about the phone, it tells you everything that you have going on with the phone. So for instance, this has a Snapdragon 665. The model is the T770B. 48 megapixel, 8 megapixel, 2 megapixel camera, 2 megapixel, 16 megapixel, resolution of 1080 by 2340, 64 gigs of storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 4000 milliamp battery, Android 10. It's on the security version March. If you want to go into system updates, we can check that to see if there's any updates for this phone. No update available with that. So like I said, I didn't install any apps, and I don't have, I only took a couple of photos and videos, but generally you can see I have used 16 gigs of 64 gigs of storage. So after everything's on the phone, you have about 50 gigs, 48 gigs of storage on the phone. Next, let's check out a video just so you can see the quality of the screen and hear the speakers. Phones to be maybe more budget style friendly phones. It doesn't look like they're going that way, even though they do have budget friendly phones. They're still putting these ultra premium phones out. They didn't say exactly when. So I told you right there, that's where the speaker is. It is mono speaker, but at the very least, it's clear. And then and also the Galaxy Fold 2 should be around that same time, if not a little bit earlier as well. And at that point, which phone are you going to buy? The Note 20 or the Galaxy Fold 2? Most people are only going to buy one of those phones, so which one are you going to buy? If my money, if I had to buy one, I think I would do the Galaxy Fold 2. I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this does support micro SD card. So if you want to put in additional storage, you are able to, in the same place you put your SIM card, which is on the side right here. Now, most of the things that people are going to be using this for is social media, taking photos, surfing the web. So let's check out some of that. We've already seen the photos, so why don't we check out some websites here. Okay, and we just bring up Android Police's website, which has a lot of stuff on it. I think it's a good website to go to check out. I have the phone turned on dark mode, so that's why the website looks, dark on here. But you can see it. This is super fast, like just going on here. And it loaded it up pretty quickly as well. I'm just so impressed with this phone. I mean, it's amazing, 250 bucks, it's crazy. Oh, brightness of the phone, I should have talked about that. It's decent. It's nothing, crazy in terms of like brighter than my Samsung phone, but it's definitely passable for sure. I'm not that turned off by it. So we'll load up the TCL website next, just so you can see how that looks on here. So web browsing, I think you're going to be completely happy on this phone. Facebook is another app that people seem to love to use, that you can, you can see, look at it, runs perfectly fine. It's very smooth for the most part. Very impressed. And then here we go with Instagram, just to do the quick, swipe through. You can see it's super fast. It's crazy how awesome that is for a $250 phone. Absolutely fine. Oh yeah, the fingerprint sensor, let's check that out just to show you it works. It's fast. Accurate. One thing I do notice about this phone, and I have not been gaming, I haven't really been doing anything too strenuous with it, but I do notice that it is getting a little bit warm to my hand. And it's not installing a mass amount of apps. It's not really doing anything too crazy right now, but it is getting a little bit warm to the hand. So there you guys go, TCL 10L. So far, I'm very impressed with this phone. I will give you a full review at another date, but otherwise, so far, so good. It's definitely a phone that I think if you're looking for, for social media, to take photos, to take videos with, I think this is a perfect solution for a lot of people. It has a nice flat display, which I absolutely love. Flat displays are my favorite. The phone is made out of a plastic on the back, but you know what? It feels good and it looks great. It's got that kind of, you see it's blue, but it has a little bit of mirroring in it to add some other colors to it. It's cool. It's a cool design. It feels good in your hand. It doesn't feel too large. It's lightweight. Just a really cool phone so far. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you down the road. Peace.